Perfect. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, my name is Fuad Gul. I work as an infra tech business development manager. I'm based in London and I work with Yusuf, who's invited you in a different section. We cover the global education and I cover the research and education solutions part. And I cover the whole of the world, across the whole world basically. And this is one of the solution we wanted to talk to you about. This is for researchers or somebody who wants to uh, use powerful computing on AWS. This is just to give you an overview of what the tool is capable of, what it can do for you in terms of research. It's not high performance computing because we've got other solutions for that, but this is more of somebody who is looking for an easier, powerful laptop in the cloud, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to go through different features and the whole product itself. And then what I'll do is I'll do a demonstration for you to understand how do you access it and how do you create different computers on there, what kind of cost is involved with that. If you are interested, this is just to understand and just to show you one of the products. Because you might be using these kind of things in the future, you might want to explore these opportunities and what are the advantages of using that as well if you are interested. On top of that, in the end I'll give you about 15 minutes or 20 to ask questions. If you've got any questions, I will unmute you and you can ask me the questions. You can ask me the question by raising the hand, by the way, during the session as well. But this is more about the info first, and then we'll do the demonstration. And at that time, even you can ask me questions. Are we all clear on that? This product is called Amazon Lightsail for Research. Okay, perfect. Thank you very much for that. Now, to get started, I'm going to talk about some of the important features of this product, why if somebody should be looking at it, because this is one of the AWS services. It's not like a partner solution or something. This is our own solution. If you've got AWS account, you would be able to log into that and then you will be able to find it quite easily and start using it. You don't have to install anything. Once you've got AWS account, you've got these online computers ready for you, and some of these are GPU based instances like virtual machines where you can have a faster computation and then you can have lots of data to analyze as well if you want to. You don't need too many cloud skills. It's much simpler than trying to learn how to set up a network in the cloud and then how to set up a virtual machine in the cloud. This is quite straightforward and simple basically. And then there's a bundled price. Normally some customers, they find it difficult to find out how I'm going to figure out I'm using a virtual hard disk, I'm using this virtual computer, where is the cost and how does the breakdown work. So this comes as a bundled price, a packaged price that you would be able to see straight away from the console itself, and you will see how much you've spent so far and forecast as well. And it also allows you to control the cost by stopping the computer automatically after a certain period of time of inactivity. So we will cover that in detail as well, even during the demo. Any question at this point, by the way, before I move on? There are lots of people who are still joining, but I believe this session is being recorded. You'll be able to review it later on as well. Thank you very much for that. So what are the key features as we talked about? This is AWS service. Customers don't have to do and install anything on to their computer or something. And even if you want to work on that virtual computer remotely, you can do it from the machine itself in the browser. You can log into that machine and do different kind of work on there. You can install your own softwares, and you don't need cloud skills to be able to do that. You just need an AWS account, and then you can log into that account and then start running these machines after you find the service. So I'll show you how easily you can find the service itself. And then simple and straightforward to use. offers that bundled pricing that we were talking about. So you can see upfront how much it's going to cost you. It even tells you per hour how much is the cost. So you can use the normal CPU based instance or GPU based instance, and it tells you how much it would cost you, and then at the bottom it keeps on showing you how much you have spent so far and the forecast as well at the same time. And again, as I said, to let's say you are running an analysis overnight and you don't want to sit in front of the computer to shut it down after it's done the work to save on cost because it's running, you can set a shutdown rule, which is pretty straightforward, and it will automatically shut it down after it would notice that there is no activity or less than 5% of CPU usage. It will automatically shut down the machine for you. So why Lightsail for research? Why did we come up with this product? We deal with a lot of customers. I'll show you some of the products that we offer to the customers through AWS directly. And some of these products are basically through partners. So I'll touch upon a handful of those, not a lot because the portfolio is huge, but there is a purpose this product serves, and we will come to that. Because of simplicity, you don't need high performance computing or something, you just need more computational power and store data centrally somewhere to work in smaller teams and things like that, or you need a powerful laptop in the cloud. Basically, that's why it was developed. So when we talk about researchers, normally the way research works is researchers, they have got their own laptops, they are working on them, and they have got certain capacity. So they normally write proposals and store data, do visualization, perform analysis on different kind of data, and they use it for collaboration as well. But it can become challenging. So if we think about it, uh, now these are the middle two parts become a challenge because you need to store a lot of data. You have got certain capacity in your laptop. You don't have, your disk doesn't keep on increasing in size. You have got limited size of that. Visualization wise, you need to have powerful, compute and analysis as well. At the same time, you to analyze a lot of data, you might not, it might not be enough to have a laptop that can cater for like a GPU instance in there, basically, graphical processing unit. And then collaboration, again, as I said, can be an issue. But most of the time, when we talk to customers, they are looking for powerful machines, store loads of data, and then perform the analysis and visualization as well. So that's what you need in terms of compute, memory, and time. You might have got multiple tasks running at at the same time. You might have got a task that needs to run overnight or a couple of hours and things like that. You might have to go away. You don't want to keep an eye on the machine itself all the time. Uh, what does it? So Colab is different. That's a TPU kind of instance. This is more of a virtual desktop that you've got. This is a when you I'll show you what it looks like. It serves a very different kind of a purpose. Basically, it's got GPU instances, but at the same time, it has got it's a virtual desktop. So Colab is we've got solutions similar to that as well, but this is very different. It's like a powerful machine in the cloud, basically, a virtual desktop or a laptop with lots of power, and you can attach bigger storage with it, basically. So we won't be able to compare too much on to Collab and stuff. So that's not something I would talk about. We've got other solutions for that kind of thing as well. Now, moving on, what are the different features of this? Okay, yeah. What are the different features? So in terms of the capacity, thank you, Dahlia. And so CPU and CPU plus GPU. So for faster computation, you've got that option. You've got three bundle sizes for each. So you've got three types of so XL and 2XL and 4XL kind of thing. You will see that in my dashboard in a bit. And then you've got software bundles as well. So sometimes when you've got a laptop, you have to install R Studio or Jupyter, or Skylab, or you've got VS Codium like Visual Studio Codium for Visual Studio coding. You have to install it on your laptop, so it can come pre-configured. So if you choose that, uh, you get an underlying operating system, Ubuntu, uh, but also you also get these on top of it. So if you choose it, you can even access the underlying operating system, but these can be pre-configured. So they are normally pre-configured. You can select it and you use that basically straight away if you want to do it. Now, cost control wise, as I was talking about before, you've got a rule available to you. That's for CPU idle time. If your CPU is not doing much or doing minimal work, like 5% being used over 10 minutes or whatever time duration you want to set for it, it can automatically shut down the machine. So because it's an hourly charge, you don't have to pay for the price if you're not using it overnight or over a couple of hours, basically. And rules must be explicitly added by user. So I'll show you what it looks like as well. It's quite simple. And then you've got root access to your operating system. So sudo access to the operating system for installing additional software. So it's like a computer with Linux operating system, Ubuntu, and then you can install your own software if you want to as well to the machine itself. Now, on top of that, you've got elastic block storage, EBS, that we call it. And that's a virtual hard disk that comes with it as well. I'll show you the options for that, what kind of different sizes you can have. You can attach it with that computer online quite simply, and then you can utilize it for storing your data on that computer as well. You can attach or detach from your virtual computer. And then a snapshot, if you want to have a snapshot of a computer. So let's say you want to, let's say you installed a lot of things, you put some data, and then you want to have a backup copy of your hard disk. You can create a snapshot, and then you can use that snapshot with another virtual machines as well if you want to, or you can use it with the same machine. It's entirely your choice. So it's more like a backup hard disk that you've got available, a snapshot of the current machine that is running. You can take a snapshot of the hard disk, which is the EBS, and put it as a copy, a backup copy for that. In terms of availability and pricing and the billing as well, so these are the different regions where you've got it available. So I'm not sure in your region what would you prefer to use, which region. All of these would have slightly different pricing. So Mumbai, for instance, can be a bit expensive because of different taxing and all that kind of stuff. You will see some of the regions of normally the price is similar, very close to all the regions, but it might be. So you've got these 13 regions where it's fully available. The 14th one, which is North Virginia, US East one, if you want to use that, that's not enabled automatically. So if you are using US based, then you can use the other ones as well. You can use US East 2 or US West 2 or US East, EU East 1 if you want to use that as well. And you can see you've got Singapore, Sydney, Tokyo, Seoul, Frankfurt, Paris, London, different ones available to you to use if you want to use a particular region for your machine to run in, basically. And then these are the prices for different sizes. So let's say you want to use standard Excel. So you've got C5, you've got a particular kind of machine, EC2 instance, that's a class. There's so many different classes of uh, EC2 instances, the virtual machines that we offer. The price per hour is 90 cents per hour, US dollar. And then virtual CPUs, you get 4, memory, you get 8 GB, and storage that you get, the EBS is, yep, yeah, you will see different prices there. Uh, I think it's because of the capacity and also the taxing and other things as well. There are multiple reasons, but you'll be able to see once you select the region, you will be able to see the price changes slightly. You'll be able to figure out what are the differences basically. And monthly data transfer that you want to transfer would be 512 GB. So if you want to transfer data into that machine or something, you want to bring that data or take it out. So that is where you would see that this is the allowance that you've got, how much data you can bring in basically. Then for the disk itself, these are the prices. For 8 GB is 0.80. Those were the virtual machines themselves, the with the CPU and everything. But if you want to have a particular size of hard disk, these are the different prices. These are billed per second, but it's an hourly. So this is price per month. So let's say, so when it says bill per month or per second, uh, you got a monthly bill, but if let's say you didn't use it, you used it for a couple of minutes or whatever, or a couple of seconds, it's billed for that month. So you need to be careful that when you choose it, you want to make sure that you actually want to use it basically. So that's where you need to be careful. Otherwise, if you are running it, let's say for 2 months or 3 months or 5 months or whatever, it tells you the monthly price of that disk basically. And then what is the solution landscape? What are the different offerings that we've got? I'm not going to cover all of them. There's an extensive list, exhaustive list. Uh, and you don't want to be overwhelmed with all different kinds of options that we offer to the customers. But these are a few, and Lightsail for Research is on purpose on that right hand side. And the purpose of that is just to show you. So you've got something like Service Workbench. That's a solution that we offer. This is an open source platform that we offer to customers if they want to have their own, research environment for their customers, or the educators or researchers or students and stuff. And then we've got Parallel Cluster for high performance computing, HPC, but they are more advanced kind of systems and they don't have that simplicity. So if you look at the right column and the extreme left column, the features and what it has got in it, basically why is it important, is if you look at the feature use cases, if you want research workstation, if you want a powerful machine, that's the use case. If you don't want to do for HPC and those kind of use cases, then set up persona. A researcher can set it up. You just need your own AWS account. You set it up, and I'll show you the link of how you can do that if you are interested in that. And then set up skills. They are very basic. It's very straightforward. It's not complicated in terms of you have to set up the whole, the cloud environment and create different kind of roles and then start machines and RDS and all those kind of things. It's pretty straightforward what you need to do in there. And then in terms of configuration, you've got snapshots and you've got do it yourself kind of an option. Access control OS native, so you've got your own virtual machine which has got its own root access that you can get and you can start working on that. User skill requirement is quite basic. And in terms of compliance, it's not HIPAA compliant or something. It's mainly GDPR compliant. So your data stays with you. You've got your own keys. So of course, nobody else would be able to log into that and view unless you share the data with the relevant people or your team and say, this is my data and do you want to work with me, basically. And then the pricing is bundled. It's not like separate bill and you have to work it out which service costed me how much. It's a bundled kind of a price. It's pretty straightforward pricing as well. In terms of resources, these are the different resources that you can have. So I'm going to share this with you, and Yusuf must share it with you as well. So this is the product page itself. There's a public page where you can view all these kind of things, learn more about this. There is a facts page, and on the facts page, there is a particular section that is dedicated just to answer the questions about Lightsail for research, because this product, we've got a product called Lightsail for virtual private servers, and under that service, this was created for researchers so that they've got powerful compute capability. And then how to create an account, this link actually shows you that. So I'll go through those in a bit. And then we've got some blog post on this document where you can see, how researchers use it in different environments and getting started for with our studio or other things as well, basically, with Lightsail for research. How do you set it all up? Any questions before I move on to the demo? Okay. Uh, Superb. So I'm gonna start sharing my other screen. I will have these links open on there as well, just to make sure that I can show you the links of facts and everything that I was showing you. It's also visible to you. And once you get this presentation, of course, you'll be able to click on the links and be able to go there. Okay, so now let me get started. Okay. Please confirm once you can see my screen. Okay, superb. Thank you very much for that. So now this is an AWS account that I've got. And once you've got an account, of course, I'm gonna share this link here. How do you get started as well? How do you create the account and everything? So let me just use the chat to share it with you. There we go. To set up an account on AWS, what you need to do. Now, before I move on to that, so now once you've got an account, you log in. Over here in the search, you can just type Lightsail for research. This one comes up. If I click on that, it takes me to the dashboard of Lightsail for research. And here, what I can do is I can create, if you can see here on the right hand side, it says create a virtual computer. And in the middle, I've got one machine already, which is the one I created for myself just for the demo purposes. I can start this machine. You can see at the bottom here, the price is coming up. Month to date, cost estimate is this much, 11 cents. So before I do that, let me show you what are the different options. Over here, you've got on the left hand side, you've got virtual computers. So if I click on that, it'll show me all the virtual computers I've got in my account. I can click on the one I've got the name for here, and I can see the dashboard. This is a Jupyter Lab. I can see the usage. I can see the control stop virtual computer on idle. That's what I'm going to come to in a minute. But also I can see if what plan have I chosen, standard Excel, which region am I using, what's the status of it. It's stopped at the moment, so it's not costing me anything. And this is the costs, estimated cost will be very close to that, and monthly usage estimate. And then we've got the storage with it. I can see if there is a storage, there is a system disk which is mounted, 50 GB disk that I've attached to it. The snapshot, I created a snapshot just as a backup. So if my current hard disk gets corrupted, I've got this snapshot I can use later on as well. And then different tags, if I want to create a tag to find out this is the machine and this is the, what machine is it and what does it do if I want to find billing. But we don't have to worry about that part for the time being. Then on the left hand side menu, I've also got storage here. I can create a disk from here. I'll show you one by one in a bit. The usage I can see. what's the usage, which computer, in what region, how much it's costing me. Snapshot, I can see under this, there's only one snapshot, this one. Sorry, uh, take it down, this one. And then the cost control. There is a rule. If I click on the rule itself, it gives me the option to look at CPU utilization. That's the only rule. And if it's less than or equal to whatever percentage for this is the duration of time 10 minutes, 15, 20, 30 minutes, it will automatically shut down the machine. And that's what it says over here as well to confirm. Now, let's say I want to start a new machine, I want to create a new machine. I would go to this menu, virtual computers, create a virtual machine. It will ask me through a drop down menu, which region do you want to create it in? So let's say I keep the default there, US West 2. And these are all these machines cost me the same. This is just if I just want the operating system Ubuntu, then I choose this. But if I want Jupyter Lab pre-installed, I choose this. I want RStudio, this Skylab, I can use this, or VS Codium, I can choose that. So let's say I choose this Ubuntu. It tells me these are the 6 different flavors I've got, and this is the monthly bundled price, hourly charge of this. Once, if I choose that, it's 90 cents, you can see. And if I choose this one, it tells me the price here and also there. And if I want to go for GPU 4XL, I can see the price there as well for it. So if I start it, I can then, it will start costing me money as I use that. So I'm gonna click on this and say create virtual machine. So one thing it said to me is you need to specify the name. Sorry about forward to demo. I'll just call it that. My bad. And I've given it a name. I've selected the region already from the previous screen. I say create machine, and it's creating the machine for me. And it's going to cost me 90 cents. And over here, you can see it's creating the machine. This one, once it's created, it would look like this. I can start this computer by clicking start. So let it load and I'll show you how I can log into this machine directly. It says it's running access operating system. I'll click on that. It's trying to access, it's going to do it in the browser itself rather than me trying to log in remotely through another computer. It will do it in the browser itself. It takes a little while before it does that. See if a pop-up is there. Yeah, it's getting started. Okay, I'll have to, right, sorry. I think it timed me out. Sorry, I'll go back and go into the account because I was logged in for a long time. It just took me out. Here we go, Lightsail for research. I'll go back. Look at the machine. This one, access operating system. And now you can see it's doing it through nice DCV. It's logging me into that virtual machine. That's why virtual machine here. Any questions on this, please? It tells me what the IP address of this machine is on the top right. And this is like a normal machine. I can start the terminal if I want to. This is full screen. I can exit it. So any questions on this, please? And here I've got my browser. So if I want to start my browser of this machine, here we go. The browser is working, and I can do other things as well if I need to. I can shut down the machine, whatever I want to do, I can do it from there. Power off the machine. It's like a operating system straight away I've got there. So if I close that, and if I launch Jupyter Lab directly instead of going to, because this is based on Jupyter Lab itself. So if I click on this, it should open Jupyter Lab for me. I don't have to install anything. Jupyter Lab is available for me straight away. I can go into the operating system through access the underlying operating system option, but I can do this. Right, I'm looking at, okay. Now I'm looking at some of the questions, I believe. So can I host this virtual machine to work as a... So when you say, can I host this machine? Let me just start from the first one. Is there any special plans for research or fund? So when you say, is there any particular plan for research fund, Dahlia, are you saying, is there any funding available for researchers to start utilizing? So there is something called Cloud Credit for Research, CCR, not this. If you're looking for that, we've got two options actually. One is internal, so please let me and Yusuf know and we can do that. This is Cloud Credit for Research, AWS, and you can have a look at it, what it is for, so you might be able to utilize that. And I'm going to share this link here in the chat. So if you are one of this, if full-time faculty at an accredited research institute, full-time research staff at an accredited research institute, or graduate, postgraduate, PhD student enrolled at an institute for research, you can do that. And students will be awarded up to $5,000, and staff is not capped if you are at a research institute. Yeah. So please look at this option. This might help you a lot. So you can start, exploring these options. So great question. Thank you. And can I host a virtual machine to work as a server? So when you say I want to host a virtual machine, Mustafa, as a server, what kind of server are we talking about here? Like a networking server or a file server or something like that? You should be able to upload, and Dr. Tamer, you should be able to upload and download files. So this is a virtual computer, so you can download the files onto your computer and then put it somewhere. So you would be able to access the files itself because you can access the operating system itself, and the storage is yours. So you can upload files and download files onto that computer. Collecting data set for database. So you want to use it as data storage so others can access it. There is a limit to it. There is a group of, yeah, install programs. Yes, of course you can install programs. It's a Linux operating system you've got, so you can install programs. How? So do you use Linux, Avida? Do you use Linux? Yeah. So if you don't use Linux, you need to know if you want to install a program, you need to go into command line and do it. Through the terminal, you install operating systems. There are other ways, but normally you can install the yeah. So through the terminal, that's the difference. This is not a Windows machine. This is a Linux machine. So some people don't want to use Linux but researchers mostly use Linux because it's got lots of different options, lots of open source stuff that they can use, and there's no cost for the licensing as well. So let's say I am in a virtual machine. So let me go into that machine. I'm going to close this. I will log into the computer. Let me just do that. Virtual machine is a computer as well. It's just virtual. It is a computer with the hard disk and everything. It's just called virtual computer because it's using a lot of a lots of virtual machines are running on the same hardware basically, but they are virtualized so that multiple machines can use that. So here, if I go to activities, I can go to different applications that are already installed on that. You can see I've got different things there. I can go to terminal. All you need to know is how do I install a particular software into, so it's openly available, the info would be. So if I go to terminal, I can see ls and it shows me what are the different folders. And normally it's apt-get kind of things or different utilities that you get that help you download different applications or install different applications. For more help on those kind of things, so I can share something for you. Ubuntu. Here we go. Please review this and you will be able to find some info. It'll tell you different ways. It'll show you different ways. Software Center, you can use apt, as I was talking about, and other ways as well, basically. I don't want to read the full story like that. Or I'll show you install additional applications on Ubuntu. This is the official one. So I will paste it there as well. Install, remove software, install languages, remove an application. There's different kinds of options with the App Center. You can do that or through the command line. So you need to be more comfortable with the Linux environment. If you are comfortable with Linux environment, you'll be fine. But it's a learning curve as well at the same time if you want to learn more about that. And normally this kind of research or Jupyter notebooks and those kind of things, they are normally used in Linux environment. So if you look at AWS or look at even Azure, which is Microsoft, or Google, we use virtual machines, and normally they're Linux based because they're very lightweight, no licensing issue, and then you can install different kind of things. And a lot of researchers use them. Does it answer the question? Does it help? Any other questions, please? Hardware. When you say I can connect hardware, this is sitting in the cloud. This is in one of our data centers. You are remotely connecting to it. So how would you connect hardware? It's an operating system and a machine where you can virtually connect to it. You've got CPU power, GPU power, and then the hard disk. but you don't physically attach anything to it. You just select the option. So what do you mean by, do you want to connect a flash drive to it? Good question, but the answer is no, because you can't go into our data centers. It's a remote computer. You won't be able to connect anything like a USB or something like that, or headphones or anything. No, it's a software-based solution. Does that answer the question, Hoida? Thank you. Any other questions, please? Now, I've shown you the option of how you can access the operating system, how you can log in, and how can you view it through the browser itself. Storage wise, as we said, you can create a disk, and that disk also gives you the option to give it a name and then use the region. And if you go down, you've got different options up to 256 GB of disk you can attach to your computer, and it tells you here how much it's going to cost you once you select that. So let's say I go with a different region. If I go with Mumbai, you'll see the price is slightly increased. So this is $25.60. If I go to US West, it's 80. Let me see if it changes here for this as well. No. But if I go with the machine itself, virtual machine, it will change. So if I choose this region and choose this machine, it says 90 cents. If I go back and if I choose Mumbai, choose this, you can see it's $1.04. So there are different prices based on the region that you select. So make sure you select the right region. You can see it here as well. Based on the region, it automatically tells you this is how much it's going to cost you, basically. And billing wise, you would be able to see clearly how much are you spending. So if I go back to the console itself of this, if I go back, uh, storage is there, usage, it tells you in there which machine are we talking about, how much cost. This is the estimated cost, and then you can see the snapshot and cost control I've shown you as well. Anything else, please? That's the demo. I just wanted to show you this, and if you are interested in using this, and if you don't want to spend too much in the beginning, if you want to set up your account, you need a credit card or something. That's how you do that. I will share this. No, once you install a software, you don't need to, as long as the machine is there. It's your computer. So if you install one software, you don't have to every time you go back. It's like a computer is shut down. Of course, the software is not going to go away. Once you've installed it, it's there until you remove it or delete the machine itself. So you can remove the virtual machine, so then it'll be gone. You don't need to install it every time. So here, this is how you can create the account. If I want to talk about RStudio, if you're interested in using RStudio, this is the link for that. It's also on the presentation itself. So once you receive that, you will be able to see. And one more thing, this is Lightsail for Research landing page that shows you everything or tells you everything about what it is, what's the purpose, how the pricing works and everything. And then the last one that I want to share with you is what are the facts. So on this page, I want to show you something. This is a Lightsail facts page. So not just for Lightsail for Research, but there is a section. If I click on this, there is a particular section which has got some answers for Lightsail for Research. And that is it for me. But any more questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. So imagine I am going to go into a machine, just a second. I'll send you some options. I'll send you some of the info to Yusuf to show you different things that you can do with that machine as well. Normally with these computers, so let me just open it up. Let me go to this computer, virtual machines. This is stopped, so I'm gonna access the operating system of this one, Ubuntu. Just give it a couple of seconds because it takes some time to get started and then so this is the machine itself. These are different applications. I'm going to go into files. Here we go. So I have to set it all up basically. Uh, I, I have to do the full setup. It's like a computer basically where you would be able to then transfer the files later on. Let me just do that. Let me close this and open the other machine. Just got the setup already in place. Start this computer. I'm going to stop this computer. And that's the data transfer that we were talking about, that you have to, there is a limit of how much data can you transfer. Operating system. I think your connection, is it a good connection for you at your end? Because I can see a lot of people joining, leaving, joining, leaving. I don't know what's going on there, but I can see a lot of people, same names. Okay, brilliant. So here we go. These are different documents that you've got available. So you can upload files onto a drive or something and then download it here. That can be one way of doing it. So upload the files there, or you have to SCP into it. So SCP is you remotely transfer the files. Because of the Linux operating system, you might have to do that basically. So you transfer the files. You can RDP remotely, not with this, sorry, SSH into it. This is a Linux environment, not Windows. But you can do SCP, secure file transfer, where you can copy the files from your computer to that. But that would be a longer process basically. We can share it with you, but you might not be able to do it now. But then you will be able to see the files here. You can then move them, so you can find other locations if there is a computer or something else. But normally, the way we will do it, we'll upload them somewhere, and through the Linux operating system, use the get command or something to download the files onto the computer into a drive like documents or something like that. But the bunch of the files that you get based on the transfer, there's a limit that you have to be careful of. That is, if it's 500 GB or 1 TB or whatever size it is, that you could transfer in or out, and that's part of the package itself as well, basically. Does that answer the question? Because I don't want to go through the whole process. That'll be a long process. Sorry, Rania. Any other questions, please? Is the sound good? When you say is the sound good, are you asking everybody else, dear? Or can you hear me? Okay. I think probably somebody, yeah, yeah. So that's it from me. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for your time. And I think my other colleague who's here, Ahmed, is